So as I reflect on the, how foundation works and my own experience and work at the foundation, I would say that we're thinking about innovation at 4 different levels. So the first level is product and technology innovation. Second one is about financial innovation, financing innovation, and the third is what we call the mechanism innovation. In Chinese, is 机制创新. And the last one is really a more comprehensive system level innovation. So I want to share with you examples on like how concretely we can actually pull this off. So first, a few examples on the product and technology innovation. So agriculture, obviously very important for developing countries. In many of the sub-Saharan countries, agriculture is a big part of GDP. Like in Ethiopia, it's at least 50% of the GDP. But if you look at the productivity level, the value created from agriculture is actually very limited compared with what you're seeing like in other parts of the world. So rice is important for them, right? And one of the work that we have done is a partnership with the Chinese Agriculture Science Academy. So we invested $30 million to develop a rice seed that works better in African conditions. And now we are actually deploying the seeds in many countries. So we're hoping that the new seed variety can help 20 million smallholder farmers to improve their rice yield by at least 20%. So this is one example on rice technology, which China is taking the lead in the world, how this can help developing countries. And then the second example is a healthcare example, right? So this product is called JE vaccine. JE is a problem that's actually the disease is carried through mosquitoes, and 75% of the people will actually die because of the disease. And then children are more easily, are more easily affected by this disease. So before the foundation invested in a Chinese company, there was only one multinational company who was doing that. I wouldn't name that, but they are the only supplier of JE vaccine in the world. And because it's a monopoly situation, the price is actually very high. It's in between $30 to $40. So at the foundation, we think that, okay, this doesn't work. We need to create better market dynamics, and we need to bring in new players into market, right? So we searched around the world and finally identified a Chinese company who were actually, who were doing this, right? Innovative products, totally innovative and research and developing in China. So that was 10 years ago. And then we decided to fund them to improve their technology and production quality, and then finally to get WHO pre-qualification. And WHO pre-qualification is important because that is the criteria for pharmaceutical products to be procured by international organizations like UNICEF or the WHO or many of the African and developing country governments. So anyway, so another $30 million investments and 8 years of efforts. So JE vaccine became a WHO PQ product about slightly over a year ago. And then because of that, and since then, around that timeline, this Chinese company has delivered 400 million doses of JE vaccines to the international community. And the pricing is really a fraction of what the MSC products was selling. So that really helped to stretch the dollars, right, which is very scarce resource for all the international organizations and developing country markets. So this is a long-term effort, but then it raises the question, right? Does it it doesn't work on transaction basis, right? How you can solve this one using 8 years and $30 million, but how do you actually, what can you do at the system level so that more and better, cheaper innovations from China, pharmaceutical healthcare products from China can actually get to the global market? So we'll talk about that a little bit later. So another product technology innovation, this is also a pretty cool product. So this is actually a storage, cold storage for vaccines. So vaccines obviously is very important to prevent many of the diseases. But at the moment, still every year there is like about 1.5 million children who die because they don't have vaccination. And then part of the challenges is actually logistics and lack of power. Therefore, in rural areas, you don't have low resource, places, you don't have refrigerations and cold storage, right? So this product was the original design or the R&D was actually done in Seattle in a lab invested by Mr. Gates himself. So they research on the latest installation technology. And then after the initial R&D, they actually came to China to look for manufacturer who has the capability to do it perfect and to do it at low cost. So they actually ended up working with a company called Guanghua, which is the largest refrigeration and cold storage equipment manufacturer in China. And then this product, a single product like this, can serve the needs of a community of 6,000 people. And then the beauty of this is you don't need electricity. You only need to put ice into it, and then it can actually preserve the vaccine at the right temperature, around 0 degrees, for about a month without having to do anything about it. So that's a product, and then it's a super sturdy because you can carry this over a camel or a horse. If you drop it, nothing happens. So this is actually being used deployed in many countries through UNICEF and global funds procurements. And by the way, global funds and UNICEF are major public procurers for healthcare products. So those were some examples about technology innovations, especially Chinese technology innovations, how they can be relevant